I wanted to portray kind of like how people could like try to live with dignity, even though they're in a very hard situation. But life goes on and they want to have children and they want to get married. And even though they live in this legal limbo, they still continue doing that. And it was something that actually Benjamin Netanyahu said that kind of stuck in my head. And he said something like 50,000 African immigrants can easily grow and become 500,000, and then we don't have our Jewish identity anymore. And I thought that was really interesting about feeling that a group of people threatens your identity. And the fact that they are creating a life where you live is a threat to your identity. So the main focus of this project is, this is actually a very small piece of my project. The original thing that brought me to Israel is the fact that the Israeli government last year opened a detention center called Holot, that's in the Negev desert. And basically, if you're an Eritrean or Sudanese national and you've been in Israel for more than 5 years, you get an invitation to Holot. And the Israeli government doesn't think that this is a prison, but you're basically in the desert and you have to check in 3 times a day, and the nearest town is about an hour away by car. So these men basically have to quit their jobs and sign into this detention center. So that was like the majority of my project that I was focusing on there. And I was also working with the community and trying to see how they were integrating into Israeli society. My mother's Swedish and my dad's Eritrean. I grew up in a very immigrant neighborhood in Stockholm. And I grew up kind of like learning about the world through my friends that were like children of refugees or immigrants. So that was a reality that was like always around me. I had friends who were Kurds, so they would tell me about Kurdistan. I had friends who were Iranian, and they would tell me about Iran. So that kind of sparked my interest about global issues. I feel like the best kind of changes in your photography happens organically. It's not necessarily things that you set out like, I'm going to become this kind of a photographer. It's like an evolution that happens over time. And yeah, it's like, I don't know what's coming. And I think that that's a good thing, because I think that if you have this idea of you as a photographer, what kind of photographer you are, I think you can kind of get stuck.